Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers again from Lead Generation SEO Services.com. And in this video, I want to talk about how to score on Google or get higher on Google on the first page, part 2. In this one, we're going to talk about how content is king. Content is the thing that Google loves, and the content has to be presented in the right way in order for Google to really like your content and post it higher up in the ranking system. So we're going to talk about a few different ways to get content, because I know some of you out there in different companies, maybe you're a dental or in the medical field, or you have a SaaS product software, or you're in real estate, and maybe you have focused on content in the past or currently, or you have plans to do that, or you don't. You haven't really done a lot of content, so it really puts you behind the power curve when it comes to your competitors or competing with your competitors on Google. There's nothing like content done in the right way and distributed out in the right way to really compete with your competitors. So the first example I want to show is from the Hitting site. This was a blog podcast that we do, and one of the easiest ways to create content is to either shoot a video of yourself talking about a certain aspect of your business, which is pretty easy to find if you put in your business. Could be dental offices on Google, and just see what else Google anticipates you're going to type in. So if you just put in dental office or dental practice or dental and just see in the search, you'll see the anticipated searches, and you can look in those and you can get quite a bit of information. And if you add off of dental, whatever those searches might be, then you can add maybe another keyword or two that come up in the anticipated search, and then see what some of the topics are there. And sometimes you can do a part 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take one piece and split it into 3 or 4 different pieces of content. So once you have a topic, once you know what you're going to talk about, or have a theme of the video, or even answering a question, if you have a survey that goes out or a poll that is automatic, say if you do a little bit of email marketing like I do, we have hundreds and hundreds of responses. I asked a simple question for my Hitting parents and instructors and team coaches. If we were to sit down for a private conversation, what was the biggest question you would ask in terms of what is the most frustrating thing when it comes to hitting? And that opened up many cans of worms, and I get tons and tons of different questions that I can just make a video about, 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute video about, and answer that. And so there's your first piece of content, is the video. You don't even have to edit it. If you don't know how to do it, you can hire somebody to do that, put on an intro and maybe an outro on the ends, the bookends of that video. But the major thing is the content. So you get the video, and then what you can do with the video is you can transcribe the video using something like Otter.ai, like the animal, OTTER.ai. And you can get I think they have a free account. You have a certain amount of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of every month that you can put up, and then you can pay for plans if you're going to have more of your, you're going to be uploading longer videos. Or you can use something like Descript, which we just moved over to, which is a transcription software. It's really cool. This is a paid one, but there's certain things you can do where I can shorten word gaps. Where it says shorten word gaps. What are some of the other things? You can take out like filler words, and there's a lot of cool things that you can do with a software like this that's going to cost you a little bit. You can create snippets of like really cool quotes during that video, or if you're doing a podcast during the podcast, and you can get those little snippets and you can push them out on social media and things like that. It's really cool. So there's some things. So you want to transcribe it. That's going to give you, so you get the video, which is the visual, which is the auditory, and then you can transcribe it, which is going to give the visual in the written form, which some people are just visual learners. So having images and things like that in there are really cool. And you create have like a bullet point type thing. This is what we do with our posts. This is a podcast interview. So we have a podcast, as you can see up here, this link, and this goes over to our podcast. So that's just the audio version for those that want to listen over audio in the car. And then we have the YouTube video, which we have where we're talking side by side in a Zoom. We create an infographic, which you can see here. It just has the title of the video and then maybe who the video is interviewed with. We could just have some basic bullet points, and then we have a link to the transcription, and it's a PDF. So they click this link, and now they can download that to their computer. They can print it out. They can do different things like that. So that's an easy way to hit pretty much everything every learning style that people have. You got the video. Some people just like to watch videos. You have the reading, which you got the bullet points here, but then if they want to read the whole transcription, they can click here, download it, and they can read that whole thing. Plus they got the audio with the podcast. We're hitting them on all kinds of different fronts. So if you want to do your own content, or you have somebody in a content department and have them do that, this is an easy way to create your own content. If you don't have that, the next best thing is taking a RSS feed from maybe not so much a competitor, but a source, a news source, a blog source where they're not so much selling the same services as you or maybe the same products as you, but they put out a ton of content. It's really good content, and it's just content in general. They're more of a content site. That's what this Hitting Performance Lab is. It's 360 plus blog posts. So if somebody wanted to take my RSS feed and apply it to their blog, they can do that or include that on their blog. And you can get plugins on WordPress, if you're on WordPress, where you can take an RSS feed and you can convert it into posts. So it'll automatically import the posts. So for instance, in the lead generation SEO services, these two posts have been imported out. There's drafts. They didn't automatically get uploaded and made public. They're all drafts. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change up the title to do some of the things that we do, our 6 deep keyword strategy. And I'm going to do that to these titles, and then I'm just going to repost it. It has all the links and everything back to the original post. So I'm not stealing it. I'm just reposting what somebody else already posted, and I'm giving credit where credit's due. That's an easy way. You don't really have to do much except for change the title, possibly, if you know what you're doing on the keyword side, and put in a little lead-in paragraph in the beginning. And that's it. And you can repost that. So that can go really well with the content strategy of just an original content strategy where you have your own original stuff, but also you're also doing this sort of RSS importing into an actual post on your site. There's also another way. If you got funds and you can hire, like what I had mentioned in a past video about our gold and precious metal site and our cryptocurrency site, even the SEO site. So I can write a lot of that, but I don't have the time. So I can hire somebody else and delegate that out to somebody who really knows the industry like you do, and they can write out articles. And again, we can do that. We do that kind of thing. You can go to a place like textbroker.com and you can search by all kinds of different filters to find people. And you're going to find a writer anywhere that on any industry that can talk just like you, maybe even better on a subject. And it'll cost you anywhere from, depending on how long your articles are, we like to go about 1,000 words to 1,500 for like a blog post, because that's a good competitive blog post. Some industries, some keywords might require a little bit more words because depends on what they're doing. But it's going to be anywhere between $20, $30, $20, $40 to do an article. And so you can go here and you can hire a writer to do that as well. And the last thing I wanted to cover in this video on how to rank on Google, on the first page of Google, when it comes to content, is I mentioned in taking the RSS to repost on the site, an already done article from somebody else, and then reposting that and changing up the headline and changing up the lead in, is this idea of a 6 deep strategy. So what we're going to do is we're going to rank for long term, you probably heard this before, long tail keywords. Long tail keywords. On Google, there are millions and millions and millions and billions of searches. And I think if it's even millions on a daily basis, new searches with new keywords, like different keywords that have been used in the past. And people are getting more specific with what they're searching because they understand if they just put in the baseball softball world, hitting training, that's not a very specific, it's a very general term. Yes, those two keywords are going to get, say, 3,500 searches a month during maybe in season, but they're very general, and that's the people searching those terms are very, very far up on the funnel, the sales funnel. So they're up at the top of the funnel. You have top, middle, and bottom, right? Bottom are the opposite, are those that are ready to buy. They just need a nudge. So it could be a review, a product review or service review that they're looking for. They're comparing a couple different companies. They're really close to pulling the trigger and committing to that service or product at the bottom of the funnel. So that when it comes to a company who doesn't want to spend a lot of time educating, maybe they have a product or service where they just want to cut to the heart and find those people that are ready to buy. And not one way is wrong versus the other, but if you got an HVAC company, if you own an HVAC company or a roofing company, you may not have the time to write all the educational content to get people warmed up, to the ones that are searching roofing styles or roofing surfaces or roofing materials. Those people are in the research mode. We want to get into best roofers in Orlando, Florida, whatever county in this month or year, right? Really specific searches that are going to be those people that are at the bottom of the funnel that are ready to buy, that are ready to check out. They just need a little nudge in one direction. So we use this idea of a 6 levels deep keyword research that we do. And we also will take, say, a post and distribute it out to a bunch of the different channels. So like the blogs, the news sites, the podcasts, the slide shares, the videos. We're trying to get a wide channel, and then we're going to take those pieces of content and we're going to shift them out to about 400 plus legit sites. And that's going to do one of a few different things. It's going to get some exposure, a boost in exposure. We call this a marketing event, boost in exposure. And it's also going to create a lot of backlinks back to whatever page that we're backlinking to. So the first one generally we do to the main site, to the home page to get some juice rolling there. And then we start to go out and spider out to some of the better pieces of content, and we'll do a marketing event for those. And that's either 1 or 2 a month, and you'll see huge momentum within a few months of that, and everything gets better. So not only do you show up on Google, the first page of Google for specific keywords, for a lot of different keywords, but you'll start to get those bottom of funnel people coming in. So it's not just generalized people searching, it's people that are looking to get targeted, looking to get and use your service itself. With a content strategy, we want to do, again, a few of different things. We can do our own from scratch, starting with the video, transcribing it, doing some bullet points, doing a podcast, having the audio side to that, having an infographic with the visual side of that. We can do it ourselves, or we could do like where we import an RSS feed into our posts and we change the title, do the lead in, change the lead in, or we can go to Text Broker, a website like that, where we can hire a writer, tell them what we want to be written about, and then let that expert do that, where most of the time they know just as much as you, if not more, or slightly below what you know. So it's just as good as you writing the article yourself. But if you got 20, 30, 40 bucks that you can do a 750 word to a 1,500 word blog post, we can have a really professional looking post. And then we can take that post and start getting into the marketing events, and we can take and do a marketing event for that particular post itself. So very quality post, and we can boost it out to all the different channels, the 6 different channels, and then also get those out to 400 plus different websites. So when it comes to content on your website, content is king, and we want to make sure we have a good content strategy moving forward. I hope you liked the video. If you got any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.